go. Come on, Facebook. Mm-hmm. Yum. Alright, one more try on this. Yeah. Yep. Good. That was his top priority, ruining Facebook's streaming platform. Aha, he fixed it. It was calling him out. Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. Nice and easy. Kanye? I don't know. I haven't looked. So, welcome back to Band of Mansions D&D. We had technical difficulties and personal difficulties. We are continuing at part 2 of tonight's session. I am Gats, the GM for Band of the Ancients. And who am I with tonight? Skipping over Jupiter, because Jupiter will not be with us the rest of the night. That's you, Winter. Perfect. That's Amataka. All right, so. Killed him. All right. So, where we left off, Winter was just walking out of the Frostgar Manor front gates with the party to his right along the manor's wall, enjoying story time at the pits of the Frostgar guards. So, yes. So, Winter, you see them all standing not that far away. Do you head that direction, or do you try and ignore them and walk off? I think you muted. Oh, nope, you're good. You're good. To whom? And end of message. You've no objections from Awarthon or Jupiter or Elma. Taka, you're... Yes. Yep. Oh, that was the gist of the stories anyways. We were just getting into the weeds at this point. Anyways, Master Winter probably has plenty more stories to pick up where I left off. And the guards will happily herd all of you towards Master Winter. It doesn't take long. Lord Master. Yes, Master Winter. Even some of the guards are like, "Aww." So, cool. So, Winter, you start heading your way towards the magistrate's kind of office, which is essentially the town hall. Not that far from your estate, honestly, since you are the noble district. On the way, um, is anybody looking around trying to get a sense of their surroundings, such as Taco or Mill, because they're unfamiliar with this town? Cool. So roll those perceptions, and then Taka, I know you're passive as well, but let's see if you notice anything in addition to it. Well, you have a high passive, Taka. So the one thing you notice is there's a lot of cats around this town, just all over the place. Must be a city thing. Just a lot of cats. Like a lot. In winter, that's normal to you. There's cats in this city like there would be rats. No, they're just there all the time. And Mill, what is your passive? Not that high, right? Oh, that's high enough to notice. Okay, yeah. So yeah, there's a again, you I don't know if you've been in this large of a city before. I don't think so. Not at least not a human settlement. Okay. You would have also been to some of the northern dwarf settlements, but again, not in a huge human city. Yeah, there's just a shitload of cats all over the place, running around, doing their cat things. Cool. And yeah, Taka, you were about to address Winter. Ain't no mountain high enough. Okay. Roll me a d8. Okay. Yeah, that guard's sniffling at the little heartstrings got pulled. Yeah, you during that back and forth, absolutely. The guards know about Dove. And you're probably like, have you seen her? Have you seen her? Yep. It's the sniffling. Like the other ones haven't started crying, but when you made eye contact with them, they just broke a little bit, just like, yes, Master Winter, I'm okay, just fine. And just FYI, I'm actually going to turn off the Facebook Live because it's having issues. And now we are just YouTube and Twitch again. Um, I will certainly do my best. Shall I go right away? Ah, of course, Master Winter. And he's just holding back his tears. Little quivering lip. Of course. Nice. Cool. Um, Sorry, my brain went elsewhere for a second trying to think ahead while you were talking. But I do You don't have an inspiration point, do you, Taka? You do? You already have one? Damn. Ah. Nope. Oh well. I was just thinking, like, no. But Winter will earn one soon enough. As soon as I start trying, as soon as you joined, I started trying to hand them out, so they probably feel annoyed. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry. Anyways, so unless there's more conversation along the way, um, the only thing that will happen is Yakasame, aka Yuritsune Gatamori, will speak in Yuritsune's voice, kind of low enough so that everybody can hear within the vicinity, including the guards who are paying attention. Once these guards have left our sides, I'd like to discuss something with all of you. And Winter, this is the first time you've heard this voice. And again, this is Yakasame walking in chains in the middle of the group in this low-ass manly voice. And you get like a kind of, I could almost call it like a growly look from the tiefling in chains. I said we need to talk privately. And she looks at you, and you would free me, master. I thought I was your prisoner here. I meant, once there are fewer ears. That is why you captured me after all, to get information, wasn't it? You're the one who captured me. I figured you want the information to yourself. The glory and all. Up-and-coming, noble warrior such as yourself. One of the guards next to you. Yes? And I'm assuming... So just to clarify, you're saying you want the guards to basically give the party a wide perimeter. Okay. Try and be more incognito. And they will do their best, but it is 8 guards. So let me... Yep. I'm just curious for my own sake, because there might be things happening in the background. Who knows? Not me. Okay. So yeah, the guards fan out. They try and stick a little bit more to the shadows and blend in, though they are trying to make sure no one comes between them and you guys. So if someone would walk in that way, they would pop out and kind of make sure that they're herded to the side. And your entourage is now a bit more private from the guards. Oh. They're not that impressive looking to me. Anyways. And Yakasame kind of looks around to everyone to Awarthon, Jupiter, to you, Mill, Elma, Taka, back to Winter. Something's happened to Yakasame. Something that hasn't happened in many years, though hasn't been this bad since she was a child. Trying to think how to explain it to you. She's gone into the recesses of her own mind. She's in the back, now I'm in the front. I've been trying to get her out of the back, but it's not working. Something broke her. And she's completely locked herself off in her own head. Trying to bury what happened to her and what she saw as deeply as she can. I don't know how long it's going to be before she's back. I haven't been in control of her again since she was a child. I'm quite concerned. And everybody can hear this. A mind cleric. I mean, yeah, Taka, roll me a history. Meta-wise, there's definitely Cyanicists in this world, but let's see if Taka knows about them. Yes. This is weird to you. You've heard of, like, brain damage. People not being the same after that. But, as far as a mind mage, not something you often encountered or even really thought about too much. But Taka could ever be like, I wonder if there's mind wizards. Mind clerics. Healer of brains. Yeah. And Mill, do you say anything besides being solemn? Okay. Like I said, Yakasame saw something traumatic the last couple of days. She tried to reconcile and process it, and it hit a little too close to home. There's something that Awarthon had said that these things might be connected. Awarthon, what was that you had mentioned about visions of a girl in a room and a skull? God, it's so awkward to roleplay with yourself. Yes, it's why I'm here. This gem that I have, it's leading me it led me here to this town, though this is different than the last time. I keep having these visions of a little girl trapped in a vacant room with a small window, and the window's odd, and then of this skull. I'm assuming the girl's in a shallow grave. But besides coming into the town, I'm not getting any locations. I don't know why. Last time I knew exactly where it was, and he's just rubbing his head with a headache, trying to recall. All I... Yeah. And... It's hard from my vantage point. It was like... It was low to the ground, a circle, and it was like you could see the wall, yet see through it. And, Yakasame, I'm just going to call him Yuritsun at this point. Yuritsun pipes up. That's what I thought. It's the same girl. Likely the same room. Yakasame's been having strange dreams the last few months. In these dreams there was a mirror. On the other side, a little girl in a room. This room was stone floor, stone walls, had a thick door, angled ceilings, and a window just like a Worth Undescribed, one that you could see through, yet not see through. Down below there was a great garden. Yeah. You've never heard of a little weird room like that. Nor a window like that. You know that magic windows can be made. No. Yakasame, she'd been visiting this little girl in dreams often, almost plagued by her since this weird thing happened on the road a long while back. Banging sounds on mirrors whenever they're nearby her. Anyways, Yakasame promised this little girl through this mirror that she would come visit, and the little girl promised to stay and wait for her until she came. Shortly thereafter, the little girl's head was bashed in by an old man. I do. I could even draw it for you. Well, I can try. And he's like wiggling Yakasame's little dainty hands. These are interesting. And he starts digging in Yakasame's really messy bag and just tossing shit out of it that he thinks is garbage. Just all kinds of literal garbage just getting thrown into the street as he's digging for some clean parchment. And let me pull something up here. Jesus. Okay, with disadvantage of 22. Yeah, it's a decent David Attenborough, not David Attenborough, like, you know, whatever adventurer from long ago. I can't remember his name. Darwin. Good Darwin drawing. Yeah. So you have an old, gruff man with very well-fitted, well-groomed, exquisite but not overly exquisite clothes, holding a cane, and they even drew a leash holding a dog. That's your answer. I'm sure that this is what Yakasame saw. Yes. I have no use for it. I'm cursed with the memories. And he spits on the ground. So, Awarthon. That little girl in the room. I'm assuming it's the same one. It sounds like you need to find her. In my dream, she dies. But you as a mage, I'm sure, understand such dreams can sometimes be of the present, the future, or long ago. She might be in danger. She might be dead. She might be waiting. At least the girl had a nice view of that garden. And he just looked solemn. It's not hard, you just wave a guard over. Mm-hmm. Before that, so while Winter's having a whisper with the guards, do Taka or Mill pipe up with anything about these revelations? Sounds good. And after the guard takes the piece of paper, he will look at you very concerned and a bit confused and say, "You sure?" "Of course." And he'll fold it and put it away. But continue. Yeah, you do. You have a pretty good idea. A tall, straight-figured old man who's holding a cane and a leash on a black hound. Again, very noble clothes, not too flashy, but very well trimmed. Has a very nicely groomed white beard, etc., and so on. Stern expression. Resolute. Doof. Yes. Time. And change of scenery. Something about coming into this town set her off. She seemed to be managing it, though struggling. But it's almost like when we were there, now it's just in the town she lost it. She hasn't. I'm trying to get through to her. Oh, if this doesn't stop soon, I'm formulating a plan. Poor kid. I most likely will. And at that time, you're outside of the, essentially like the city hall. Your destination. And you can imagine kind of a moderately large, but not huge, Italian stylized civic building. And around the building, you see some specially designated guards, as well as guards from each of the three houses. Some with hawks, some with snakes, and I believe I did some with a great cat on their breastplates. A symbol of unified power. And as you come up, the hawk-bearing guards, of course, nod to your symbol, or your mask and everything, and the other ones kind of look at you like, look at the party. And are you just walking like you're going to go right in, or are you walking up to the guards at the gate, at the door? And might we announce who you are? And some of the other hawk guards is like, it's Master Winter, idiots. And then they shout that up, and the actual magistrate guards up at the top announcing that you're coming in and open the door. And what about, and I'll just say, one of the Snake House guards, and what about these companions? You tell me. Protecting the magistrate. And he talks to his buddy. I don't want to be responsible for their behavior. Take them with you. Well, you had the one who you said to look out. Well, you have two. One of them's of Dove. One of them's of two different guards. Yes. The latest guard. Yes. Yep. Okay. Yes, Master Winter. Do you require our services still? Shall we accompany you inside or wait out here? Mm-hmm. So you send 2 off and have 6 remain outside. Okay. Cool. So you enter, and there is a semi extravagantly adorned city hall with a meeting chamber and all. No one's really in there besides the guards and the normal decorations, the pillars, etc. You can assume the magistrate is back in their office, which is on the main floor. If anybody's looking or paying attention for anything specific, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just skip along to the magistrate's office. Taka Mill. Okay. Cool. And again, you come up to the magistrate's office door. A small reinforced with iron bandings. A couple guards standing outside of it. They see you coming. There was no alarm nor any sound, so they aren't really paying any mind. He's in his office. And they will open the door and peek in. And alone. Winter Frostgar needs to have a word with you. Okay, send him in. And they salute and leave the door open. And I wonder what kind of voice we should do for the magistrate here. Gosh, I'm so tired. No, it's just a general overwhelming mountain of exhaustion. Don't mind. Break's not going to fix that. So, let's just talk like this. There we go. This is his voice. Come in, Winter. Welcome back. I just made my dog bark. Come on in, Winter. And who are all these folks? And you can see in front of you is a overweight man, which just off the bat, that's the first thing that's obvious. He's not gargantuan, but he eats his pies for sure. Eats those pies. He's wearing very fine noble clothes, but you can see he's kind of bulged them to the point where the buttons barely snap anymore. And he's in a big chair, but he's touching the sides of it. He's not getting up. And who might all these folks be? Yeah, Yurtsun's unshackled. Just the tightening of the mouth and some curling up around the beak. Mm-hmm. Mm. You see those muscles flex on them jawbones. Mm. Thinking about Dove. Anyways, so everybody steps out, and it's just you and the chubby, rosy-cheeked magistrate. Fine now that... God, I already lost the voice. Fine now that you're here, Winter. Told that you were sent off to investigate the tragedy. I trust you found out what happened. Okay. He, like, doesn't lean forward to grab it. He's using his... And he just, puts his hand just on it to kind of slide it, but doesn't even bother opening it. Now that that's taken care of, hopefully people will calm down. It's not like we've had anything happen here in hundreds of years. Exactly. So, what can I help you with? You wanted to speak to me privately, I see. And that being said, there are some guards off in the peripherals of the large office, but they're not paying that much attention. Necromancers. I certainly should be, yeah. Well, there's always, of course, strange things going around in this city. That's why they appointed someone such as myself. Nothing's coming to mind of necromancers about. But of course there are other dark magic things going on around the city. Oh, normal. Outside of normal from Makoma. I mean, there's the fog up on the hill. That's been strange the last couple of months. But nothing terrible been reported about that. Just people going to look at it, some not coming back. Of the fog? Yeah, from afar. When it started, some of the people missing who went to check it out. But we didn't really see cause to send guard or any official investigation to go check out some fogs up in the mountains. Some of them went on their own accord. Curious. Bored. I didn't. You're all insight. Yeah, at least he doesn't think he did. From what you can tell. He's like not bothered at all by the fog, from what you can tell. Besides that, there's just the normal things that happen around this town at night. That's why we have a strict curfew. Just the same goings on. I try not to look at too much, try not to dig too deep. Just enough to protect this town. And he lets out a big grin. Not far enough to lose my head. The darkest news was the loss to the south. Of course. Almost immediately after you departed on your investigation. Though we haven't done one for the dancing unicorn. Oh, but it will be missed. Such extravagancies in that place. And he just distant look. Oh. Oh. As often as I could. Oh. Well, I don't know if it was my number one favorite, but certainly up there. They had things there that you could never find in the city. Maybe things you wouldn't even find in the capital. I mean, I would be talking your ear off all day. This whole city is strange. Is there something you're looking for? Go check in. Go check in with the bards. They're the ones who are always telling stories of the goings-on, the rumors. That's sometimes true, isn't it? Then, Okay. Yes? In Makoma? No. That's an odd thing. We haven't had their kind besides the one you had in here a moment ago in quite a while. But let me check into it. I think I remember something about a white-feathered something or another. Oh, I'm sure they'll figure it out. You do me too much credit. And he's just like all jovial, like, Well, if there's anything else, I must get back to my duties. There's nothing. There's nothing going on. Get back to the pie he shoved under his desk. Okay. And there you all are, standing outside the magistrate's office. What do you do now? No, they're outside. Okay. So, do you guys head outside at this point? Okay. Well, let's just say you guys head outside and now use your chance to shout something. The guards are waiting for you at the bottom of the steps. Nice. Winter asks, "What do you mean by that?" And you can tell he's thinking, "Oh, if you could only find a bard who would sing my tales." "I'm sure you could find a ballad or two about me if you looked in the right place." And he's just kind of sneering at you a bit. "More likely rowdy." Man, you get their attention. And they're going to try and roll an insight on you, Master Winter. They rolled a nat 20. What kind of bar do you want? They now know. Yeah, they know exactly the name of the bar and everything, even where you're going to sit. So, what are you going for here, Winter? All right, so I'm gonna. This is a pretty big city with many distinct districts in it. So how rowdy? Like there's like just boisterous rowdy, like we're having a good time. There's like get stabbed in the back rowdy. There's like the tavern where everyone goes to see who's the strongest in the town right now. Like what level of rowdy are you going here? Okay, so there are some decent, not the best bards, but some decent bards here, and they like to pick up stuff because some people come through town and they gather more stories and such there. Um, let's see which. Now, see, this is one of the things I wanted to organize was my town doc. It is huge right now, so I do apologize. Give me one moment here. Uh huh. Yep. Tough couple weeks. Yep. Oh yeah, I'll start charging immediately. Buy my tea. All right. Okay. Damn it. Sorry, I'm trying to get this. Yeah, the place where most of the people come in to share stories and where the toughest bronze are usually compared is the largest tavern in the district known as Mullen Way. You know that that's the place where most of the fishermen come bring in their fish. It just reeks of fish all the time there. Um, yes. But you also get very nice fresh lake and river fish. Anything you could really want. And you can hear the river running through the middle of town right outside the tavern. There's nice little windows where you can see out as well. As far as the name, I don't have one off the top of my head, and I lost it. So, what is the name of the tavern, Winter? Seagull's Treasure. There we go. Okay. Do you mind posting that in chat, either to whisper it to me or not if you don't want it? Because on the character sheet, actually, I could just pull it up really quick too. Oh, yes. I'm familiar with that. Okay, so what would you like to do with it exactly? Mm-hmm. Yes. So, RP wise, you immediately get tough people's attention being the race that you are. And some people obviously kind of almost licking their lips, wondering how hard you would be to fight given the stupid stuff that the Frosker keep going on and on about you guys. So it's pretty easy. If you essentially, I'm gonna have you role play it out, but you definitely can um, join either the contest, size up a kind of fight in this place, and if it is entertaining enough, you'll certainly earn something. I've had a gladiator background character as well, so but it's all going to be RP'd. So you all make your way to this fishing place, the Seagull's Treasure. Is that what we called it? I already lost it. Seagull's Treasure. And these, yeah, and like most of the town, it's made out of stone with this tan stone walls. Very well worn door, and the smell of fish entering powerfully everyone's noses as you even enter the district. Somehow even more pungent as you come into the tavern, mixed with the smell of hops and some rotten smelling fish, some really fresh smelling fish. It's just a cacophony of odors as you come into this place. But almost what's more noticeable are some of the fishermen and their odors. So, it's, what time of... No. The other thing, you guys got to the town first thing in the morning. He went through town. I'd say it's at least early afternoon by this point, with the traveling about the districts and such. So there's some people in here getting their lunch, but Winter, you know this isn't the time for the big show. necessarily, unless a big challenger entered the town. Sometimes you could get people in, but and there's a couple of loitering essentially in the tavern, writing down their songs for later, practicing a little bit in the corners, and you see a good 5 of them just lift their hands. Oh, Mr. Winter, welcome back. Well, who can tell? We might get some fun challengers, some, oh, look at your friends. And they start looking at the Urkukra, the Furbolg, Mill, and the Wolf. Awarthon, you have some stories for us, don't you? We will. And they're just like, my goodness. And at this point, there's just one bard kind of taking over the conversation, just like, psh, get out of here, noobs. And he comes over to you guys, loot on his back. You have to. Okay, who are all of you? Tell me now. We know Winter. Everyone knows Winter here. And you are. And he points to Awarthon. And the bard gets impatient. You! Points to Taka. It has been so long since someone like you has been here. Please, who are you? Yeah, cousins. Thanks. Um, are you here to challenge the champion? Please tell me you are. Did you... Are you ready now, or is this... Do you want to wait till tonight when we're busy? I mean, I'm not doing them, but they happen. I just write down what I see and sing what I believe happened. We can, though. The turnout would be so much more spectacular after everyone comes in. Dinner just before dusk. Jupiter's just got his hands back. Like, I'm not fighting people in a tavern. Awarthon hiding behind Jupiter at this point. Yeah, exactly. I'm not the fight master. You'd have to work that out with the challenge. Who knows, there might even be the champion in tonight. I'll see if we can spread the rumors and get him over here. There might even be others. Oh, sorry, what was that, Winter? It must. Are you okay? And are you? And by fight master, it's the barkeep. And and though she was just kind of, checking her stores for the night, um, putting things away still from lunch, and from behind you can see she's a middle-aged human woman with salt and pepper hair, and she kind of just always wears short-cut sleeves and an apron at all times, hair in kind of a loose, stringy bun. And as she's leaning up to put the mugs and glasses up on the shelves, you can see she is ripped. Like, just, like, not quite a dwarf buff, but, like, she's got those, just, every glass just, yeah. And she's not huge. She's not exceptionally huge, but she's got muscle mass and tone. A little bulkier, but yeah, a little bulkier. Like between an MMA fighter and Bruce Lee is right in the middle of a chick. Ronda Rousey more toned. Yep. Like if she went down in weight class. And she was, like 50, 45. So you addressed her as Fight Master, because that's probably what you call her since you were a kid. And you asked, what are the rules on 2-on-2 competition? And she, turns, looks. Is that you, little Winter? And she wasn't too paying attention too much before. You brought quite a party into my here tavern. Now, are you fighting tonight? She's just being patronizing as fuck. I see. I mean, you've seen most of the fights in here. Well, you've seen enough of them through your years. No weapons. No armor. No magic. Unless you all agree on it. You break it, you buy it. Unless you bring in more money enough to buy it. You can gamble on yourself or whomever you want. And if you don't pay, you know what happens. I, sup- I suppose you could try and convince someone to fight your dog. Um, are they all fighting too? And she just gestures to your entourage of 6 guards. You don't normally walk around with, half your house. No. Oh, Winter. We always do. Send the word out. See if there's. Uh, she's. And she looks at Taka long and hard, up and down. Hold on. Okay. Right. I'll see if I can rouse him. Though, truth be told, they don't just usually show up when you say someone's here, though. An Urakra. Oh my god, I can't fucking say that word. It's. It's. Ararar. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. But the thing is, your specific race matters in this town, and everyone would have it down. The Aura Birdman. Birdman. Anyways, I'm just gonna keep butchering it and pretend that it's not being butchered. The Oracora is not right. God damn it. It hurts my head to hear it. What? Era? Kokra. I can do that, but only if someone says it right before me. Era Kokra. Um, it should be like one of those live concerts where I say "win," then I point to you guys, and you say, you say Era Kokra. I'm joking. Anyways, though word of an Era Kokra might get him out, you might need to have some other matches to at least show that you've got something worth their time. Pry them away from the bottle, that is. Do you really want to be first match, honey? There's word of you guys in here fighting should at least bring some people to warm everyone up. I'd like you to bring in a little more money to my tavern, especially if you're going to make a mess with that axe. We'll spread the word. Now, as she looks at all of you, if you're fighting into the night, you'll have to stay here. You know, we have plenty of lodging. Unless you have some special escort to bring everyone back to your giant house. I think Mill said something. I couldn't hear it. We'll see after the night. So, little Winter, are you all going to be staying here, including your guards? Maybe that's why you have the guards. Well, just make sure they don't interfere. There could be trouble, as I'm sure some other houses will be in here too. You hear that, boys? You interfere with one of my fights, it's not going to end well. And they're all looking at you, Winter. Someone will be like, I was hoping to get in on some of these fights. Well, yes. If you guys are fighting, it's a good time for us to stretch our legs. And they're excited. Yeah! Let's get ready. And may we be at ease, Winter. No one's going to harm us here. You don't know if he's telling the... Yeah, it's just that like they were rushing the bar and then were like, okay. Yeah. And yep, and there's just nods. So, Warthon and Jupiter take it upon themselves to find the most out-of-the-way corner table they can, because all of this violence is abhorrent to them. Okay, and he will cast whatever spell he wants to cast on you. And you're healed, because you're not that damaged. And they're like, yeah! Round of drinks on that. And they grab a big stein, one for everyone, including you, Taka, and Winter and Mill and everyone like that. On us, of course, at least this round. And pass them around. Peck and grab, peck and grab. They're just like, oh, okay. Kind of bummed that you're ditching them. They're all looking forward to getting you drunk and loose-lipped. Yep. And you can go up to your chambers. Essentially, you have a room. This place has lots of little rooms for people to sleep in. Cool. And is this in like a meditative state or like a slow moving Tai Chi kind of way or what? Okay, cool. Got it. You are warming up. So, it is at least a couple, let's just call it 3 hours until people start shuffling in for dinner. Some of the bards have kind of sent word. Some of the other bards have gone out and dispersed. So the patrons leaving were told to spread the word, and the salt and pepper haired barkeep told some of her people to spread the word around as well. And you can tell there's a bit of excitement bubbling in the tavern. And this young boy, I'm not that young, this young teen, he seems younger than he really is. He might be like 15, but very boyish, pimple-faced, blonde hair. He's like, do you really think he's going to fight? He hasn't fought in a while. Oh, and Ludra is back. The pimple boy. He mentions he says to the barkeep, "Do you really think he'll come down tonight? He hasn't fought anyone, at least in a challenging way, in a while. Just thrown rowdy people out." "I sure hope he does. Might lift his spirits." And all of you hear that. Essentially, everyone but Taka gets the gist that the champion hasn't had a real challenger and has just been kind of working as the muscle at the night to throw people out for a while. So, how do you all proceed between now and when the crowd gets here? Winter, you mentioned you're kind of taking a rest. What sort of, are you just like drinking and talking with your guard buddies? Are you guys wanting to have conversation as a party with Taka meditating? What would you like to do? Just, okay. So, Winter, and are you sitting with your guards, or are you kind of hanging over by Oarthon and Jupiter who are trying to just stay out of the way? Okay. And Mill, what do you do for the next couple hours? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, are you guys just kind of, are you looking to perceive anything in particular, since you both mentioned that you're listening, or just kind of keeping your ears open for anything interesting? Snakes in the grass. Look out for 'em, boy. Okay. Okay. And then Winter, what about you? Are you listening for anything specific, or watching for anything specific, or just interest? Mm-hmm. Okay. And then Winter, what is your passive? Okay. Now, if you'd like, you could roll me a perception check, or you can just keep that passive. Okay. Okay. And Mill, same for you. You can keep your passive. If you want to actively look for snaky stuff, you can roll. Nice. This is beautiful. Nat 20 and a nat 1. All right. Winter, things that you pick up on, keeping your ears and eyes open. At one point, you can kind of hear some people talking around the tavern, where like people come by on their way home or their way shopping or whatever. They'll kind of stop and be like, "Hey, you should come back by tonight. Blah blah blah. There's gonna be a fight. Champion might come out. There's an Aarakocra. I don't know. Aarakocra. There's an Eric. There's an Aarakocra, and he's in there. He's getting ready to fight tonight. Winter's back. That as people come by, they're spreading the word. And at one point, you hear a very distinct voice. One of the ones who was laughing gleefully from the recent bloody events that you instantly recognize their voice. If you know what I mean, Winter. And you don't see them, but you recognize that they were there. And they say, "Of course I'll be back tonight. Love to see Winter fight again." And he goes off with his buddies. So they're probably going to be coming back. Besides that, you hear clear rumors, people coming in and out, that they kind of spreading the gossip of your report, as the magistrate has done some official news spreading throughout the town over the last couple hours. People were eager for more closure on the situation. They mentioned that there was that rock slide to the west. Obviously, news hasn't gotten out that you mentioned to your father about the trolls. Though, if you think about it, why would he really tell everyone there's a bunch of trolls over the west at this point? Or to the west. There's still people learning and talking about and speculating about what the hell attacked that building a couple days to the east, or a couple days to the west. Like, what even was that place? A lot of people know about it. Some people said it's something about unicorns. And then you hear another rumor, to be careful, and it's a noble talking to another noble. And they're warning some of the slavers have been seen about. You know the ones. Really. They have. Some of them might even be passing through town. But I hear they're looking for special, strong, powerful folks for the arena. And they have a nod. The slavers. Yes. Slavers of avarice. Okay. Thank you. And they essentially had like a little secret meeting in this tavern on their kind of brunch. Not brunch, but dinner. And then head off on their way to kind of spread that information. Apparently that is not supposed to be public knowledge. And then, was there anything else you were looking for with that perception? Ghost stories. Well, there would be a lot of ghost stories, but I'm wondering... Sure. Let's just say one of the bards, because it's a nat 20, one of the bards out of boredom, you can tell he's in a corner kind of working on a song. It's not finished. And he starts talking about the story of the wandering man, the specter of the night, why you should always turn out the light. No, that's dumb. He'll come from you from the... that's dumb. And he keeps scratching out his lyrics. But you get the gist that someone, or some people have seen some kind of specter of an old man wandering the roads at night and to watch out. Then he writes in like, that's not the only the deals and whatever are not the only reasons to turn off your lights. It's just he's not very good at writing a song that he is, but you're definitely picking up that he's some rumors of an old man ghost wandering the roads at night. Sure. And he closes his little writing book and leaves his stuff at his table. Yeah? What's up? Oh. I mean, it's just a song. I'm certainly not done with it, but there was this lass a while back. I can't remember who it was who told me, but they said that some people years ago got terrified by this sighting of this spooky old man ghost wandering around at night. It wasn't too much detail to go off of, but I figured I could make some kind of a fun song out of it. Something catchy. Been working on it for months, maybe longer. Why? I'm glad you like it so far. I'm afraid it's pretty lackluster. Anything you had to add to it? I do feel pretty stuck. It's not bad. The issue is we've had no lights in this town since before the supposed specter was around. I'm trying to find a way to tie it in to the other folk songs we have around. See what I did there? Thanks for the line. And he tips his hat and heads back over to his table. Starts writing and murmuring to himself again. Besides that, and there's even with the Nat 20 perception, there's not a whole lot of people in here just telling ghost stories at this time of day in the tavern. There's more murmur and bustling around the idea of these fights that are going to happen tonight. Town could use a good distraction from the horrors lately, the fear. But it sounds like at some point someone might have seen a ghost of an old man. Anything else you're trying to look for with the Nat 20? It's not like I saw it, but they said it was old, walked with a cane, and had a beard that was ghostly white across his spectre-like form, some spooky gibberish. That's about it. Oh, wait. Ah. Thank you, you jogged my memory. I know how to tie on the song perfectly well now. He was the ghost of a spectre who held on to the black hound of dread and doom. He had a black dog. That was the whole thing. That's what freaked them out. You know the omen? Thank you. And then he goes, and now excitedly writes his little verses, scribbling frantically. Mill, you rolled to perceive about snakes. You heard that there is one snake in town that would be very interesting to see. And God damn it. I'm just gonna ask Aludra, should I or should I not? She goes by Death Adder. Wielder of some kind of polearm. That is all you get. And anything else you guys do for the little bit of time before Taka comes down for dinner? All right. Now would be a great time if we all want to take another short break to grab some refreshments, etc. Because I know I need more caffeine. I keep looking in my empty cup. um, how long of a break do you guys want? 10 it is. Yes. All right. See you in about 10. Guten Tag. Actually, it's Guten Nacht, but whatever. Okay. I was expecting my wife to be in bed like she said she was going to be, but she's up and then talked with me my whole break instead of having me prepare. But she's sweet. So. Oh, goodness. This precise exact thing. Yeah, I have it all perfectly written and planned out. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows. Good. All right, let me look on this page. While we're waiting here. So how are you guys doing in the meantime? While we are waiting. I think I heard German was back, but I don't know. Yeah, I heard you. Cool. I done hurt you right. So how are you guys doing? Alright, who's this guy? Okay. Now there's just one left. And they're back. Nice. Sue. Okay. So, I've got a question for you guys, since everyone but Aludri is tired. How late are you guys looking to go tonight? How many more hours? Until the end. All right. About you, Bamboozled. How many more hours can you go? Because it will depend on how I set these brawls up. Hour and a half. Oh. Saved. That will make sense, because we can't do that fight and the 2-on-2 and everything else in an hour and a half. This is why I'm asking. Okay. So, yeah, we'll see how much energy people get, though. They might not want to stop later. But that's usually what happens. Okay. And then hopefully my wife, who's doing me a huge favor and bringing me food, will give me some energy when I eat said food, because holy fuck, I'm tired. Yes. No, I was listening to everything you said, Eludra. Mhm. So the arena is essentially just the center of the tavern. It's not an official like fight ring for this, and it is a pretty nice big floor area. Let me think for a second how big they would have it. They try and clear almost a 30 by 30 area, so it's like the size of a big room where there's enough room to shove and dodge and enough for multiple people to fight. I mean, it was all in your head, anyways, Takadurden, but okay. So let me write down a couple things here. I much prefer waiting for your exhibition match till next week because I have something spicy for it. Now, are you guys ready to resume? Let's get ready to rumble! I probably woke up my kid, but anyways. Hours pass. You guys hung out, rested, listened to rumors, chatted with some people who are interested about who are you, why are you in the tavern, are you new in town, yada yada yada. Small talk doesn't really matter that much. Now, oh yeah, I need to have some rolls done here that I forgot to do. I would like quick question. I know Winter, we'd probably try to hype up to anybody of interest who came through about the fight. Is that right? Mill, would you be trying to do any such thing? Okay, so you saying that. Mill should roll nature with advantage on that one. Yeah, we're just gonna leave it at what you know about Death Adders, which is that they're deadly asshole snakes. With that 10. Mill's not particularly of interest on Death Adders. She's never been anywhere similar to Down Under, nor watched that many animes or read that many mangas. So, Winter, roll me a performance, and Mill, roll me a performance with advantage. Okay. It's not that hard. The crowd's already pretty excited. Winter, they come in more hyped up than you were to begin with, so you're you're like, yeah, fights. Woo! To the crowd who's already frothing at the mouth about it. And essentially what happens for you, Mill, is every time you mention Death Adder, people turn and talk to each other. And you don't really get, like, you don't get it. Yeah, no one's really telling you anything about it. And you don't notice, but they're hyping themselves up. And here's one of the questions. Wait, is Death Adder gonna fight Winter? to you, Mel. And they're, yeah. Okay. Whoa. Thank you. Sweet. GM has food now. So, this place, as I mentioned, gets packed. People who are familiar with the proceedings on help with clearing the kind of rounded rectangular area where people usually fight, and those who are more known and stuff start kind of claiming the territories closer to where the fighting is going to be. Some people, checking in with the barkeep. She is gathering all the bets in the house. Everything goes through her. And there's talks and fights being discussed, and she's trying to get as many as she can going on. There's already been a few regulars agreeing that they'll, start out with some warm-up stuff. Some of your guards have challenged some of the townsfolk just to some friendly bouts. And things are just starting to get exciting. Drinking is heavy. Food ordering is heavy. And is there anything you guys do while this is just kind of naturally ramping up? And Taka, from your room, you can hear the bustling has started. The chairs are scraping across the stone floors. It's getting close to that time. Yep. And as you come down, it's already so loud and cacophonous. Oh my god, I hate talking with my mouth full. It's so cacophonous that most people don't notice you until you get pretty far down and you're fully visible. And then they do, they're like, oh, it's true! It's an Aarakocra! I said it wrong again. And Era... Why can't? Aarakocra? Aarakocra. Aarakocra. Aarakocra? Okay. Anyways. They're like, it is an Aarakocra! Oh, and they're just like cheering, like, woo! Are they really gonna fight the champ tonight? Oh, I don't know, blah, blah. Just murmuring continues as you come down, and people kind of getting uncomfortably close, like, who are too drunk and jovial already, kind of like patting you, and then like, oh, trying to touch your feathers. The younger boy with blonde hair and pimply face, he like try to grabs one of your wings and like stretch it out a bit. I don't know if you let him, but he tries. And he's just like, and he just kind of keeps going with it until it's like pretty far extended, until you pull it back, and he's just like, whoa, look at this. Oh, and then you just, and a lot of people are just in awe. More people go, hey! And yeah, excitement is hyping up. Mm-hmm. Like the Gargoyles Disney show, like Goliath, just okay. Cool. Right? I'm not going to try it. So, I was like, could I do it with my throat? No. Hey. It's like, no, I'm not trying it right now. Anyways, so where do you go, Taka, in particular? Like, are you just walking to the middle of the arena or right off the bat? Or are you, like, finding a good spot? Or what do you do? Yeah, I mean, there's some inconvenient rafters kind of thing. They're not it's not a super high ceiling area though. Um what you could do is get up like there's plenty of spots on and around the bar where there's like storage stuff. Um God, I'm trying to think of what would be. You know what, screw it. We'll just say there's higher ceilings and there's some kind of rafter support beam you can stand on. Why not? We'll just do that. I'll change the design of the tavern. Mm-hmm. Nice. I'll just say you're on some beams that there's maybe like a square beam area right above where most people fight, and there's a chandelier right above the fight spots. So there's nice lighting, and you're up on one of those beams, like let's go. And you need to roll me a performance just for existing in this area. Yes. Still not bad, given everything else going on. And yeah, with that, a couple of just drunkards come into the middle and they drop their belts and toss their weapons to the floor and kind of get gathered up, and they just start pummeling the shit out of each other in dumb drunken swings. and and you can tell they're not even angry. They're just excited. It's like the first two guys, they're like early to a rock concert and there's no one there to have a mosh pit with. Yeah, they're inventing it right now, and they're just slugging each other, shoving each other. It ends up on the ground, and they're just wrestling, and people are like, oh, and they're not good at wrestling, so they're like, come on, get out of there, and and it's deemed not that entertaining, and but funny. People are like, ah, and then they literally just get dragged out. Yep. And after that, one of Winter's guards actually comes up into the ring, and he's taken off his armor. He still has his like nice house tabard on, but he's got no armor, no weapons. He's still got his boots and his leather gloves though, and he's just in the middle like, come on. And Winter, you know this guy likes to fight. He's not the scrappiest of these of these six guards who are with you, but he always likes to get into scraps with people. And he's been in here before. People recognize him. And people almost like a bored, like, God, this guy again. Um and out comes one of the fishermen. Sweaty. You can tell he had a bad day. He's got some fresh cuts on him, like he's just not had a good one. And he's had too much to drink. And he's almost to like close to blacked out already from drinking. And the idea of just letting off some steam on somebody sounds really good to this guy. And he's burly. Like he probably tears shirts every day. Kind of burly. And he pulls out couple nice big filleting fish knives. Just drops them to the ground, takes a knife out of his boot, tosses it down as he's walking into the crowd, cracks his neck, stretches his back, rolls his shoulder, and then puts up his dukes. And he's like, come on. And he just looks like he's ready to box. So, first of all, before I continue, is this entertaining, me just describing fights? Because I enjoy describing fights. Alright, because I could just be like, fast forward, winter 2v2. But, okay. Trying to build this atmosphere here. So your little guy, again, he doesn't look huge, but everyone knows he's pretty scrappy. I was just gonna literally ask you that as you said it. What is his name? Stevie. He tries to call, call me Stevie. He bends down, touches his toes, stretches his arms, bends over backward a little bit farther than he should be able to, and then twists after he's bent over backwards. Kind of pops his shoulder a couple times. And the people are like, ah! And the big old fisherman guy comes in, head low, fists up, and just a bit slow because he's very drunk, but he is staying firmly footed with each step. And some big laborious jabs, uppercut. And let's see, Steve, how you doing here? Let me check. Ooh. So, as you're saying Steve over and over, he dodges the first couple of jabs and turns his head. He's like, I like Stevie. Come on. And turns back around, uppercut. Blap. Right under his chin. And he comes up off the ground, lands back down on his feet, dazed, wobbling. The fisherman grins this kind of wicked smile and comes in with some hooks, just trying to hit him in the liver on the left side, swings a big haymaker for the right. Stevie's trying to bob and weave out of the way and get a couple jabs off. And chance should have it, as you did that, he rolled a nat 20 on his round. Stevie rocked in daze. He's got the deer in the headlights look, but he's bobbing and weaving just enough out of the way. Ends up tripping the big burly fisherman, and as the guy's on his way down, knees him right in the fucking jaw. And just out. And you and your guards are cheering. Some of the people are cheering, and you can tell some of them are like, it's just fucking Stevie. Whatever. He's always picking on the drunkards. Someone in the back, like to see you fight someone who isn't drunk. And some other who are like, yeah. And Stevie doesn't care. It happens every time. Ah, just back and forth. Yeah. Now, I do have a question, Winter. With that comment, are you just trying to be like, shut up, or are you trying to instigate? Okay. And Stevie gives a bow, folding almost all the way down flat, against his knees with his bow super low, and walks back to you guys and gets high fives from the other 5 guards. Yeah. He's just grinning. Though you could tell he's a little dazed, and he's definitely buzzed already before the fight. He's just like, woo! Yeah. He punched me about 3 inches off the ground. That was fun. And he's just like, ah. And then he orders some rounds. Um, some of the excitement's brewing. You can tell some of the people going outside hollering, "Get in here before it gets too dark. It's going to be a fun night." Yada, yada, yada. Awarthon and Jupiter are like almost squished against the back because it's getting so crowded. And they're like, "Geez, maybe we should go up to our room. Like, this isn't very great." And Jupiter's like, "No, no, no, watch." Roll persuasion, actually. You're, nah, sorry. They rolled high. Um, no, they end up actually just like the table that they were at gets scooted all the way into the corner, and now they're stuck standing on top of the corner of the table, and now there's other people. They're stuck and lost in the back corner of this tavern forever. Um, okay. Yeah, Dax can jump up to the rafters and kind of scurry around towards him and hang out near him. Um, Yuratsuna Skami, though, he Shim walked through the crowd, kind of actually like hip checking people on their way over to Winter, working their way. And you've never, I don't know if you even care what Yakasame's up to, but anybody who's watching's never seen her walk like this before. No, not necessarily swagger, more like sure-footed, um, very purposeful stepping, keeping the balance of their weight very perfect. I haven't really gotten used to this form. And he's still trying to get used to the hands. See if I see anyone worth watching. No. Please. Back in my day, anyways, fights ended with a head on the ground. Maybe to you. Just unimpressed. Unimpressed old man voice. And with that, new face in here, is, at least according to you. This young kid, you can tell he's just come into kind of the strength of youth. He's maybe 16 or so. Not like barely peach fuzz, but he's strong, probably from working peasantly labor. He comes out, and people are like, "Who the fuck is that?" And he's gesturing like, "Come on, I'm ready. Let's fight." Waits around a bit. He like doesn't quite know that you're talking to him, and then go ahead. Mm-hmm. He freezes and looks super concerned. Not a kid. And he nods at you like, And his eyes kind of like pop open wide at the idea. That's obvious. And you get a smiling, smirking nod. And he's just like, yeah. Really, Master Winter? It's just a kid. And so among your guards, there's some who are older and more experienced, some a little bit younger. Is there anyone in particular you care about? I'm not going to be nice. And this guy... yeah. He just smirks an evil grin, drops his belt, hands it to one of the others. It takes off his breastplate real quick. And, yeah, he's just cracks his neck, pushes his way through, not politely. Show me what you got, little kid. And the kid's like, oh, fuck. That kind of... And he comes in and see how they do. So yeah, the little kid comes in real slow, has kind of low hand stance, and as he gets close, he speeds up and just pops a couple jabs into the guard's face before the guard even knows what happened. And it actually stumbles the guard back. He is not a weak kid at all. But then, the guard stumbling back kind of feigns damage. I'm going to wait for Ludger to come back. The guard stumbling back feigns like he's been like rocked, right? But he really kind of fell back into the punches and absorbed a lot of the damage. So the kid comes in with a big haymaker to finish the job already. Your guard just ducks it, comes up with a headbutt on the kid's chin, and as the kid's chin goes backward, kicks him in the balls, and then does a spinning back kick right into the kid's liver. And the kid, like, blood spurted out of his mouth with that headbutt, and now he's just clenching onto his left side with his ribs. And you could see the left side of his body tried to give out for a second, but then he just took a deep breath, gritted his teeth, and as you said that, he just rushes for a takedown on this guard. So he comes in, he puts his hands right here on his head, bashes into the guard's chest through his fists. Then as he grabs onto him, he actually wraps his hand around the back of him and sweeps his leg, taking the guard down, smashing the guard into the ground. Guard's head hits the back of his head on the stone. And you could see your guard just go... Joey. Oh no. Joey is like completely fucked up from hitting his head like that. And this kid gets up past the guard's guard and he's just completely full mounted him and just starts wailing on him. To a point where Joey's not conscious and someone pulls the kid off. And you have to give him a second because he's like in a rage. But he got pulled up. He's on his feet. People are like, good job, buddy. You done did it. He's dead. Don't worry about it. You know, you won. No, he's not dead. It's Mikey. He's just bewildered with bloody fists and bloody mouth. He tries to cheer, and he's... Yeah. All right, this is a performance for sure, Mr. Winter. You can keep the roll. You can keep the roll. It's the same modifier. So 16, not bad. Not bad at all. There's a lot of confusion in the crowd about like, what? This kid's gonna be a guard? What the fuck? But they do pick up the cheer completely. And you can tell the group that the kid was with is just like, what the fuck just happened? They're like, hey, Mikey! And they're just drowned out. Like, he doesn't care about his friends anymore. He is bewildered and excited. It's quite obvious he thought he was just going to go out there and have a scrap, but now he's like getting prospective new career, and he beat up one of the Frostguard guards to unconsciousness and is pretty stoked for a 16-year-old peach-fuzzed kid. You'll put in a word? Yeah. And he's still like... Okay. I don't know if they had napkins, but... Yeah. Rips one of your waterproof, flameproof spellbook papers out. No, I'm just kidding. And he like nods and bows and like gratefully takes the paper, and then he like looks up at Taka to see what Taka's like thoughts are on this kid taking out this guard, which I know. Let's see how smart he is here. Oh yeah, he's like, wow, thank you. And his eyes are just like blah, and he looks where to walk, and he actually looks over towards Winter and his guards. Now, would your 6 guards here be pissed off at this kid for taking out their friend, or just like, nice, come drink with us? What kind of reaction would they have? I think he's actually gonna probably go call it a night, with his ribs probably being broken, and he's gonna have his hand raised and try and get out of the door before he cries. Left or right side of his back? All right. He rolls a 1 for con save. When you slap him on the back, his legs give out, and it's like he tries to wobble stand, but his legs give out, and he just collapses right there. Okay. Just roll me athletics. That's fine. Yeah, you get him before he hits the ground. I think my ribs are broken. And do you help him back up, or just keep him hoisted half horizontal? Okay. He does. It takes him a moment. He's like, Winter here is so strong. He almost knocked me out with one slap. And yeah, and then he pushes his way the rest out, trying to seem cool. Yeah. Eventually he comes to, but his face is fucked up. Broken nose, blood all over, swollen eye, swollen cheekbone. And, oh yeah. They're just every little quip they can think of on the drunken spot. And after the blood is kind of wiped up a bit with some rags, there's murmurs and wondering who's going to come next. A few more lower level brawls do happen. Some locals like, you and me, yeah, let's do it again. Some rematches, and as the evening gets darker, the crowd gets denser and louder, rowdier, more drunk, more bets, more yelling. And some interesting characters come in through the door. And Winter, it's been a long time since you've seen this individual, but also, would you even keep an eye on the door? Or just. Okay. So, this stocky, short woman comes in, and she is wearing thick plate armor head to toe, and has a dwarven helmet. She's not a dwarf. You know she's not. But she's built like one. And she is carrying with her a glaive, one that you know well. And very proudly put across her breastplate is the House Snake emblem. And before you say it, you hear, "Oh my god, it's the Death Adder!" Well, you don't have to look very far up. She's about 5 foot, maybe even shorter, maybe 4'8". It's hard to tell with the dwarven helmet those last few inches. And she pushes her way to the front and crosses her arms, holding her pole arm with her. So what do we got tonight? And she's just looking around, seeing if there's anything interesting. And behind her, some of her entourage comes, including a couple. You wouldn't call them guards. You'd call them fighters of the house with the snake emblem. Now, what kind of stare is this? What kind of expression? Because it does matter. Is this oogle-eyed? Is this like fuck you? Is this like what's up? Just awkward trying to be intense stare. Got it. Okay. At a certain point, she'll kind of like slowly turn to acknowledge you. Raise an eyebrow. And kind of stare at you like, what? What's up? And you guys have your noble, back and forth, spoiled warrior brat stare down for a bit. Unless you change it up, Winter. Honey, you can fight whoever you want in this bar. Just make sure the terms are agreed on beforehand and followed to the end. And as you walk forward, there's big cheer. And everyone's like, Winter's up! And, Bets! Who's he fighting? Somebody said it was Death Adder. She's right there. Is she gonna fight? Blah, 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 blah. Rabble, 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 rabble. Word is around town that we were fighting, so I had to show up. And she steps forward, very confidently and sturdily. And there's big cheers. What's Death Adder? Blah, 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 blah. With that, she asked very loudly, So, Winter, what are the terms? Fists, flat of the blade, full contact, or maybe to the death? More ready than you'll ever be. And she just glares at you. Just not even a response, just glares at you. The size of our heads. Sounds fine. And she says very loudly, Flat of the blade! Me and Winter. Shall it be a 1v1? And she looks at Mill. And looks down at Mill's dog. There was rumor of a weird elf here who wanted to fight their dog. Fine. Elf. You want your dog in the fight? And she grins. Big ass grin, by the way. There she is. Oh, God. Sorry, I forgot that this was on a whole other character sheet style. Okay. Hey, it's your guys' call. Like I said before we started, I haven't had time to prep. Also, it is sad playing without J. Crew here. Mm-hmm. So, um, we got two options, I see. We can let Taka go to bed and continue with this fight, which I'd vote against myself. Or we call it here and resume next week at the start of the real fights. I know, Bamboozled, you said you were most tired and wanted to go to bed about now. Dude, super good. Taka's dead. Taka's going. Sorry. Oh, this is good. Here's what we can do. We postpone the fight, but what's fun is Aludria knows a little bit about. Um, do, do we want to keep talking with the stream on or turn the stream off and chat? All right. Okay. Well, thanks, people who tuned in. Have a good night.